It is day one of the next 4 years. What are you going to do with it? For many people, it's going to be the best years of your life. Because everything in life is what we believe it to be, and that's how it unfolds. So if you believe these next 4 years are going to be hell, they're going to be hell. If you believe these next 4 years are going to create nothing but absolute abundance, they're going to create abundance. Hi, everybody. So we have to be in the state of abundance. It is undeniable that there is a huge shift on this earth right now that's happening. It's undeniable. We can feel it as if we can touch it because we are touching it. We are seeing change happen. Even if it's not the change that we want to see just yet, there is still change happening every single day on this earth. So now that Trump is coming in, everybody says whatever Trump touches, no matter what you think about him, whatever Trump touches turns to gold. Things are going to change for us. But they're going to change if you allow them to change. They're going to change if you believe that they're going to change. And I'm super excited about it because there's already, Grand Rising, there's already so many things that are happening that are changing. Even in my life, in many of your lives. What are you investing in your mind especially? What thought investments do you have? Every thought is an investment or it is a subtraction to your energetic bank account. Every thought is either an investment or it is a subtraction from your energetic bank account. I tell myself that every day. Yes, it gets easier, but sometimes there's challenges in life that make you go back to that negative withdrawal to your energetic bank account. And then sometimes you have to hear things like this to remind yourself, shit, I've been doing it again. I've been doing it again. So if you want things to change in your life, love it, Ben, you have to give your energetic bank account the things that you want to see unfold in your life, not the things that you don't want to see unfold in your life. And I'm going to read from How to Use the Laws of Mind. Oh my God, it's also by Joseph Murphy. I didn't even realize that. I just picked it up today. I got all these books and I'm like, okay, let's read from this book today. And I think it's important for us to talk about what God means to people, what we've been programmed to believe that God is. And it's not a matter of who's right and wrong about what God is. But it's a matter of realizing that everything that we've learned from childhood is a program, including about our God, our religion, politics, stories about our family, stories about money. Karen, thank you. All of it is just a program. Money's so hard to make, I'll never find another good job. It's only a story. And it's a story that we tell ourselves. I said this before, I don't know, it was last week or when the hell it was. But I was watching a video that this is scientifically proven that if you hold a thought for 17 seconds, it begins to magnify towards you. If you hold that thought for 68 seconds, the universe starts to conspire for those things to come towards you. So imagine if you're thinking negatively all day long. What the hell do you think you're going to attract to yourself? Karen is a rock star. But if you start to think positively about all the things that you want, hold that thought and feeling for 17 seconds, see it in your mind, feel it, embody it, the universe starts to conspire for you. If you hold it for 68 seconds, the universe is like, hey, this feels good. Let's attract these things. Because why? Because you're beginning to shift your energy or vibration. And once you shift your energy or vibration, whatever you used to calibrate at, it doesn't resonate with the reality that you're trying to create. So then the universe is kind of confused. It's like, hey, wait, you still have some left of I'm not worthy, and then you have this I am worthy of everything. So like maybe it'll give you mixed signals until that vibration becomes so strong that it becomes more dominant than the other vibration that was not giving you what you needed. So if you want to shift, hold that for 17 seconds. Find meditations on YouTube. They're 10, 15 minutes. And it takes you in, it's a guided meditation that takes you into the scene of the state of the wish fulfilled, which is just your end goal. And it takes you in that scene and it walks you through it. And then when you're done the meditation, you feel like you actually just experienced it. You're like, oh, I didn't experience it, but I did in my mind. Everything first happens in your mind. Everything happens in your mind. It's like thinking about your crush when you're younger. You think about her or him all day long and all these romantic things. And all of a sudden when it happens, it's this magic. But you created that first in your mind. You felt it real in your mind. You daydreamed about it. That's what manifestation is seeing something in your mind, feeling it real, and you don't even realize that you're doing it, but you're doing it all day. When you think about this fight that you're going to get into this person and you feel this fight and what I'm going to say this and I'm going to say that, that's manifesting. That's manifesting. So if you understand that my thoughts are what's going to create my reality, you're going to be a hell of a lot more careful with what you're thinking. And yes, there are times when your thoughts spin out of control. Meditation helps you control your thoughts to help us not obsess on shit. Yes. Take 5 minutes of your day with complete silence. What does that do for you? What comes up? What can you tell? Not right now. Just quiet. So this again is from How to Use the Laws of Mind. And this is expect security. Over the years, I have found that a great number of people expect disappointments in life, like we just said. What is it that you think about and that you feel? Do you expect that you're not going to have a great life? Do you expect that I never have a safe house to live in? Do you expect that your car is going to give you trouble today? Do you expect that you're just not going to make enough money this week at work? Over the years, I have found that a great number of people expect disappointments in life. Many are afraid of some unseen danger. A sense of foreboding, uncertainty, and anxiety seems to hover over their mind like a cloud. Great numbers are convinced that the will of God for them is something downright unpleasant, and that God is bound to send suffering, difficulties, or obstacles of some nature in order to test their faith or punish them for their sins. It is amazing how many people think that the will of God for them is some sort of sickness, pain, and punishment for their errors. Now, this took a lot for me to unwind in my own mind and in my own limitations, really. My mental limitations or understanding of all the programming that I had been programmed with in my life about God. Because when I started to do this work and I started to read Neville Goddard, it was so difficult to unpack this and think that there was another way, or that to look and see God in another way. We were always taught that like God is this person that's sitting on a throne in heaven, waiting and judging us every minute of the day. That's what we were taught. That's what we were programmed to believe this God is. What I've come to understand is that God is an energy. And we have free will to do what we want to on this earth. And it's not that we're being judged while we're here by Him. It's Him or the space or the energy that's allowing us to experience life in the best way that we know how. And until I started doing this work, I didn't know what the best way was. Because again, I thought that I just have suffering because of bad luck. I just have suffering because of the way that I grew up. Instead of now realizing that all of those things were programmed in my own energy field. And I can only experience those same things from that exact energy field. And we live from that energy field our entire life until we change it. So nothing can be different in our lives. So it's always like oh, this storm is always following me. I never have good luck. I never get the things that I want. Because we have this belief that that's just the way that life is supposed to be. Oh, life is just hard. It's just the hand of cards you were dealt. The hand of cards you were dealt is up here. You could have the best hand of cards starting today or tomorrow if you wanted to. If your life was always difficult. But it's getting out of that same programming that got you to exactly where you are that is the challenge. So I have come to understand from my level of understanding, not because I'm right or because I'm wrong, but because that's what I understand best, is that God is an energy. And everything that happens to me is happening through my energy field. It's what I'm putting out. If things are not good in my life, I'm putting out the energy that everything is always hard, everything is always difficult. And I've talked about this many times before. Many people that have had abusive relationships with their parents, whether it was sexual, emotional, physical abuse, they attract the same type of people into their life in later on in life, or the same circumstances. Even women that have been raped. No, it's not because they were asking for it. It's not because they were consciously manifesting that energetic experience. But they live in an energy of, I'm not safe, I am always violated. So therefore, situations and scenarios happen. It's not because God is punishing them, or God is punishing you for bad things that are happening. From an energetic perspective, from a scientific perspective, everything that's happening to you is because of your energy field. And your energy field is not your fault if you're not aware of any of this that's even around, but this is science. This isn't like somebody fell out of a tree and was just talking about energy. They prove the way our brains work. They prove that electricity that comes from us. Oh my goodness, I literally was just speaking upon this morning, literally to my husband. Goosebumps all over right now. Now I come on and you are speaking upon the same yes and yes. That's cool. It's divine timing, right? Remember, God's will for you is the tendency of the life principle, which always seeks to express itself as love, beauty, joy, harmony, and the life more abundant. So if it's God's will for us to seek expression in love, beauty, joy, harmony, and life more abundant, if we're experiencing the opposite of that, are we in harmony with God? No. So that means we're not in harmony with ourselves either. And this is part of the human experience, is literally to manipulate energy and see how we can bend reality. I was watching a video about a guy that had this whole experience. He went fishing and he saw some weird lights in the sky, and he got home and his wife was like, where have you been? Like, he lost 4 hours of time somehow when the ride from the fishing place was 20 minutes away. And he said, where's his daughter's name? And she said, who? And the daughter was 2 years old. And the lady's like, what are you talking about? They apparently only had one child, and he was living in this whole other reality where 2 of his children existed. And then he somehow switched timelines to a timeline where he went home and he only had one child, his wife, and he lost 4 hours of time somehow driving 20 minutes from his house. So there are thousands or millions, I don't know the number of timelines that we can tap into. So this is all about this energy. If we're not able to express ourselves in love, beauty, joy, harmony, and the life more abundant, then we need to find the timeline that we can exist in that. And the timeline comes from our mind and what we believe to be true. Like right now, you can believe that you're in the timeline, that we're just going to have the most amazing 4 years. Things are going to be absolutely incredible. Or you could tap into the timeline where your rights are being taken away and this is so horrible and he's a dictator and all these things. That's a timeline that you choose. I'm choosing the timeline where there's abundance. I'm choosing a timeline where I'm living in harmony with myself, even if it's not all the time. Because it isn't. I'm not walking around as some person that's just like, my life is so perfect all the time. I always have great thoughts. Great things always happen to me. I live my life like that as much as possible. But it isn't all the time because I'm human. The people that reach this level of enlightenment is Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, and they haven't really recorded anybody else that's reached that level of enlightenment. So until any of us get all the way up there, we're going to have hardships. We're going to have struggles. We're going to live in reality where these type of things happen because we're not perfect. The will of God for you is something marvelous, wonderful, and beautiful, transcending your fondest dreams. God is absolute peace and cannot wish pain. God is boundless joy and cannot wish sorrow. God is boundless love and cannot do anything unloving. God is wholeness, beauty, and perfection and cannot wish sickness. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And when I read these things and then see the world the way that it is, the past 4 years have allowed me personally to uncover what this God thing is. Because when I saw people getting the vaccine and all these people getting sick and dying, I started to not believe that there was God. So I said, how is this possible that a loving God can allow this to happen? But if God doesn't judge, and he is an all-loving God, and people have free will to experience things in the way that they think is best for them, in their mind, they were doing what was right. In my mind, it was a death sentence. In my mind, seeing so many people die from all these blood clots and all these other things, I'm saying, how is it possible that God would allow this? But now that I understand the way that energy works, this is just an energy field. Whatever people choose is their energy field. It's not because God is good or bad or anything. If God comes from love, he allows people to do what they want to do. And he is experiencing life in human form through every one of us because we're energy. And from what I think or believe, he is energy. Man brings on suffering. God is wholeness, beauty, and perfection. God is the same yesterday and today and forever. Man brings on suffering, sickness, pain, and misery for himself due to his ignorance of the laws of mind and the way of infinite spirit. Man must get away from the jungle ideas that God is a personal being with personal feelings of vengeance, such as a man may have. God is also universal law, and the law is not vengeful. It is impersonal and no respecter of persons. God is no respecter of persons. And that's from Acts 10:34. So we have to get away from the personal feelings of vengeance that we have. That God is doing this to me. God, why are you doing this to me? God, why have you forsaken me? When we understand everything is energy, then we're able to have a beautiful life, or a more beautiful life, or a more abundant life, or a more loving life, or a more joyous life, a more happy life, a more fulfilled life. Than blaming it on the man in the sky that God just gave you this horrible life. Your energy field is what's giving you a good or bad life. And once people really, really, really understand this, you could start to play and manipulate energy. I do it every day. For the good and for the bad. And I'm like, well, I did that. I had those thoughts. I did that. Joe Astrid, hey queen. When man uses law negatively, he suffers from the reaction of the law. The sun shines on the good and the bad man, on the murderer and the holy man. The rain falls on the just and the unjust, and the infinite spirit passes no judgment on any man. Man rewards and punishes himself based on the way his conscious mind impregnates his subconscious mind. Let's read that again. Man rewards and punishes himself based on the way his conscious mind impregnates his subconscious mind. If man thinks good, he receives good. And if he thinks evil, evil inevitably follows. It's as simple as that. Rewards and punishments are inherent in man's own thinking and imagery. It is very foolish for him to postulate the cause of his good fortune or misfortune outside of himself. Outside of himself. If there are people that are treating you wrong, it is not outside of yourself for the reason why they are in your life. They might be a shitty person, but what are the odds that you're attracting this shitty person into your life? Why? It's your energy. It's your belief about yourself. I don't believe that I should be treated with kindness. I don't believe that I should be in a loving relationship. I don't believe that I should have this amazing job. So again, it is very foolish for him to postulate the cause of his fortune or misfortune outside of himself. It all comes to us because it's literally coming through us. It's coming through our energy and vibration. So if you don't have money, it is your vibration that money's hard to make. I never had money growing up. I just can't afford this. It'll never happen for me. I just wish I could make $1 million, but I know it'll never happen. I try so hard to do this and this doesn't work out for me. Be awful or be awesome. You choose. Which one? But again, it doesn't happen outside of us. So if you want to have such an amazing life, realize that all these things that happen to you, all these misfortunes, aren't happening outside of you. And then you feel sad. The sadness is happening within you, and then the sadness is just experienced in three-dimensional reality. I always go back to the day when I was driving to the valley when I was in LA, and I was going to get some kind of facial thing. And one of my friends, it was just a really shitty situation, and I was just so mad. And I'm driving my car, and I go to get gas, and I turn to the gas station, and I smash into something. I turned around, and I thought someone rear-ended me. But I was driving into the driveway that I go to this gas station every time I need gas. And I drove directly into the 12-inch red curb, smashed the whole bottom of my car. There was stuff leaking out, and I did $8,500 worth of damage on the car. That wasn't something that happened outside of me. It happened inside of me first. I was so mad that the universe gave me something else to be mad about. And if you think of life in that way every day, of the things and scenarios that are happening in your life, and you don't understand why, where is your vibration? What's your vibe? I'm mad at the world. So the world's always going to give you something to be mad at. It's so hard to find a great relationship. You ain't never going to find one. Or you're going to find people that don't give you what you want, because that's your belief, is that relationships are hard. My furnace is broken. I'm grateful it's only 52. I was just looking at my thermostat because there's cold air coming out of my heat. So I was just like, whatever, we'll just deal with it. I don't care. And I can easily just call the maintenance people to have them come up here, but I'm just, whatever. Doesn't bother me. I don't like to be hot. I don't like to be cold either, but that's another story. The Father within is the source of all things and beings. It is the life principle. Jesus called this presence our Father, which created all things visible and invisible. It is the power which Jesus used to heal the blind, the halt, and the lame. It is the mind and intelligence which quiets the storm, which multiplies the loaves and fishes, the mind which enabled Jesus to disappear in the multitude, to converse with Moses, and to raise the dead to life. When you see a mind like that operating, you know there is a source and power called the Father within. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. It's John 14:10. You do not see mind, thought, faith, or confidence. The Bible says, he that hath seen me has seen the Father. In other words, if you see a mind performing all these wonderful actions and miraculous healings, You realize that mental and spiritual forces operating are directed by the Father within. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, thank you. We're good. We're good. We're good. With every frustration, balance is something. Balance it with something you're grateful for. I try to name things I'm grateful for when I find myself low. Love that. His dimensions are way beyond anything. But I was reading something, I was listening to a video about Jesus and who he was, that he was truly an ascended being that came here to help with the stargates and help bring humanity back to what we were and what our DNA was before it was all scrambled. Imagine that we were all enlightened or as enlightened as Jesus. Am I tripping, girl? You're reading the word. I'm not reading the word, but I'm reading things that have the word in it. And I thought it was a great way to start the first day of 4 years is by understanding that God the Father is within us. And all things that are possible are through him and through his energy. So if we don't want to talk about energy and vibration, all that stuff, we can say that God's energy works through me, works through you. If you allow it to, God's energy is loving, peaceful, abundant, beautiful, transcending, harmonious, right? So if we believe that God is all those things and we're not living through those characteristics or traits, then how could we say that we love God if we're not giving him that experience through us? Because when we do that and when we're in harmony, we get the things that we want. When we're in harmony with a specific energy, we get those things. So if you are in harmony with nothing good ever happens for me, you will get those things because you're in harmony with that energy and vibration. If you're in harmony with, I'm in the most amazing marriage and I'm so happy and I have all the things that I can want, then you will be in harmony with that energy frequency and that is what you will get. If you believe I'll never have a job good enough that pays me enough, you will always have a job where you're either fired or you're struggling with money because you're in harmony with that vibrational energy. So if you are in the vibrational energy of, I am always provided for and I have all the things that I could possibly need and I'm the happiest I've ever been, you will be in harmony with that energy and vibrational field, and that is what you will experience in your 3D reality. Let us look at the power of our thoughts. I just opened this randomly because I guess I'm supposed to read it. Whatever a man consciously creates or invents is always first a thought in his mind, an idea clearly formulated in his mind before it is shaped into an objective or external thing. For example, the house you live in, the automobile you drive, or the airplane in which you fly, first existed in the mind of man. The picture is in the mind of the painter, and the wonderful statue you admire was first an idea in the mind of the sculptor. There are false ideas and true ones, a right and a wrong way of thinking. A false or fallacious idea can manifest itself in the body as disease. Fulton's idea became manifested as a steamboat and Morse's idea into a telegraph. A factory or large department store is thought of by an entrepreneur condensed into objective manifestation. People are waking up to the influence of ideas, imagination, faith, and feeling over the corporal condition and all the physiological functions of your being. Everything starts in our mind first. If you believe something to be true and you feel it real, again, feeling is the secret to manifestation. It will become yours. Easier said than done. But when we start to get into the habit of doing these things all the time, every single day, life gets easier. Life gets more fun, more adventurous, more enjoyable. Because we have the belief that everything is working out. Even when bad. That's when we have to keep the faith that everything is working out. To start off your January, make a vision board for your phone. My wallpaper, whenever I close out, is all the things that I want. And I made it in an app like you do in Canva, PixArt, whatever app that you have that can make layer pictures over each other. It is my vision board on my phone. Why? Because my phone is with me all the time. And whenever I open it, I see the pictures. Even if I don't see them, my subconscious sees those pictures there. And it reminds me of what state I am supposed to be in. Why? Because life happens all day long. Negative things will happen to us. Positive things will happen to us. But when we have the constant reminder of what it is that we want to attract to ourselves, every time you open your phone, you see it. It becomes a subconscious imprint. And when you imprint the subconscious mind, that's when things start to come to you. The first step is the awareness of what your thoughts are. The second step is, what is it that you actually want? If someone said, write me a list of 10 things that you want right now, how many people would be sitting there for 2 hours and be like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Make it my vision board after this. I love it. Take the time to do it, because things will start to shift when it's constantly in your mind. Every time you open your phone, how many times do people open their phone in a day? Hundreds. And that visual is always there. What kind of house you want to live in? What goals do you have? How much money do you want to have? Whatever that it is. You want to have a farm. You want to have children. Put it on your phone. Make it your background of your phone. All the things that you want and desire. That's your vision board right there. Yeah, we can do it in our house or whatever, but we're outside in the real world all day long. And every time you look at your phone, you open it and you see that. You see your dreams and your goals right there. And it's a constant reminder that they live somewhere. If it's not only in your mind, it's also physically on your phone. Starting laying out my fine art images for a book yesterday. Love that. Put your book on your vision board on the background of your phone. There's a new product that my sister and I are working on, and I have that on my vision board. I have the name of it on my vision board, because that is what I want to attract into my life. So that's our homework. If you want, you can screenshot it and send me a picture, a DM. Put words, put photos, put you. Make up little scenarios of whatever it is with you in that scenario. Get creative, and then slap it on the background of your phone, and you get to see it all day long whenever you open your phone. So let's do that. That is the homework today. So I intended this was helpful. Today is day 1 of 4 years of the gold rush, we're going to call it. We are manifesting the gold rush. Okay? Love you all. I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I will see you. I want to have a baby on my arms. Have a picture of a baby on there. Have you on there with a baby next to you or a baby in your arms. Whatever it is, add it there. Seriously, send me a screenshot if you guys want when you're done your vision board. How creative are you going to get? Mine has a leopard background. There's all money flying all over the place. There is my dream home there. New products, how much money that I'm going to make. Words, phrases, all that stuff. Get creative. Look up vision board phone wallpaper and you'll see some creative things. But do your own, make your own. Don't screenshot someone else's stuff. Like, do your own. I love you all, and I will see you. Today's Monday. I'll see you on Wednesday or Thursday. I hope you have a beautiful day. Day 1 of 4 years. Adios.